have some breaking news at this hour that we do want to get to, and that is this, that Ryan Routh has been sentenced to life in prison plus 7 years for attempting to assassinate Trump at a Florida golf course. That sentencing just happening, and I did want to provide just a little bit more information as we take a look at some video of Ryan Routh right here, a man convicted of trying to assassinate President Trump on a Florida golf course in 2024 was sentenced moments ago to life in prison. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon pronounced Ryan Routh's fate in the same Fort Pierce courtroom that erupted into chaos in September when he tried to stab himself shortly after jurors found him guilty on all counts. Prosecutors had asked for life without parole, saying Routh is unrepentant and has never apologized.
He's not going to. Well, think about this here. If he immediately went to go ahead and kind of puncture himself with some random, sharp object, I can imagine immediately how unrepentant he is. Let's just say this here. If he decided to do what he did, right, to the level of hatred that he basically embodied that day, okay, and probably the days before while planning it, if he felt that what he did was wrong, he would then take his punishment. But instead, he tried to basically very lazily off himself. Okay, bro.
Brought in for his sentencing, asked for 27 years, noting that Routh is already turning 60. Routh also received a consecutive 7-year sentence for one of his gun convictions. Routh's sentencing had initially been scheduled for December, but Cannon agreed to move the date back after Routh decided to use an attorney during the sentencing phase instead of representing himself as he did for most of the trial. Prosecutors said in a sentencing memorandum that Routh has yet to accept any responsibility and should spend the rest of his life in prison in accordance with federal sentencing guidelines. He was convicted of trying to assassinate, at the time, presidential candidate Trump using a firearm in furtherance of a crime, assaulting a federal officer, possessing a firearm as a felon, and using a gun with a defaced serial number.
Right. Yeah, bro, listen, another reason why specifically he would absolutely not feel repentant at all is because of the party that he basically associates himself to, right? Let's just say this here, accountability is not like the number one thing they focus on.
Routh's new defense attorney, Martin Routh, asked for a variance from sentencing guidelines, 20 years in prison on top of a 7-year mandatory sentence for one of the gun convictions. However, as we just shared with you, the judge now handing down that sentencing for life in prison. And happening right now, reaction outside the Fort Pierce, Florida courthouse. Let's play that out for you right now.
Let's do it.
Officer was part of the takedown from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. So, Terry, you want to ask? You want to ask questions?
If you could also say and spell your name for us, just so we have it all.
Gotcha. Tell me when you're ready, and I'll start.
Just say your name and title and tell us your department's specific involvement in this case.
Yes, my first name is John, John. Last name is Budensiek, Budensiek. I'm the sheriff of the Martin County Sheriff's Office. And the Martin County Sheriff's Office is the agency that took Mr. Routh into custody as he moved up I-95 immediately after being engaged by the Secret Service agent. Absolutely.
Good morning. My name's Major Josh Closter. I was one of the members out there that day with our sheriff's office and our partners from Palm Beach County that were fortunately able to make the vehicle stop and the apprehension.
And how do you feel today, Major?
It is very satisfying to have the result that we had today. And that was really a combination of the hard work starting with the Secret Service agent down there in Palm Beach County and the brave citizen from Palm Beach County and the efforts from the Martin County Sheriff's Office and all of our partners, the evidence technicians, the prosecutors, everybody involved in this case played a crucial role, and everything worked the way it was supposed to, which is why we had the result we did today.
Can you speak to the confluence of events and people who actually got involved, like Mr. McGee, to make this case, to really prevent something from happening and then to make the case?
Yeah, so just to kind of recap the sequence of events, it started with the bravery of the Secret Service agent who found Mr. Routh hiding in the woods with his rifle, identifying him and taking action without hesitation, which led to Mr. Routh fleeing that scene. And fortunately, there was a vigilant citizen of Palm Beach County who saw what happened and was brave enough to get enough information to relay that to law enforcement. As soon as that information from the citizen was relayed to Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, it was immediately shared with us when we believed, Palm Beach County rather, believed that he was going northbound on Interstate 95. And once that information was relayed to us at the Martin County Sheriff's Office, every member that was on duty immediately responded to the interstate. Every member that was off duty who got that text or that page left their house. They left their families. They left lunch. Whatever they were doing that day, they went to the interstate as fast as they could. And what you saw was a full response from our agency and the full force of all agencies coming down on this individual at once.
With the events in court today, what do you guys make of the judge's comments about the defendant and then the defendant's comments in court today?
Yeah, the question is, what do we make of the comments in court? So the defendant tried to portray himself as a do-gooder, a victim, and I think Judge Cannon said it best. She said,
I believe
the
it.
evil is in you, Mr. Routh. The
I
evil
believe
is
it.
in you. You were the one that were trying
to
kill the President of the United States, former and then to be President of the United States. The
Right.
evil is in you. And I think that kind of encapsulates all that was taking place here today.
Yeah, but you can't generally tell people about themselves, specifically if they're coming from the realm that he's coming from. Let's just be completely honest here. It feels like a nearly impossible conversation to have with someone who is like so bombarded with propaganda, specifically in their ears, to the point where they then go out and say, "I believe all of this is true, and I'm going to throw my life away for this here." Right? He's already decided in his mind that he is a victim, a permanent one, bro. That's it here. So him representing himself sounds like a whole bunch of hilarity ensued.
I was.
Explain what she said there about the counterpoint, about a greatest Americans. How do you all fall in?
So the question was, the judge made a comment at the very end about there was a sliver of good that came out of this incident. And of course, there was nothing good in this incident, except for the fact of the heroic acts of the Secret Service agent that put himself in harm's way, really in harm's way. This guy had an AK-47 loaded, 20-something rounds in the magazine, put himself in harm's way and prevented a shooting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, can we bring them over, please? You're all set up over here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Make sure.
Is there any more?
So we were just hearing from police officers and law enforcement who were speaking to the media moments after Ryan Routh was sentenced to life in prison. And now we see someone walking up to the podium.
Okay, who is that?
Continue to listen in.
We always start in the same place. Go ahead and, say your name and your relationship to the defendant.
Well, my name is Martin Routh, and I represent Ryan Wesley Routh.
All right, what were you trying to get this judge to consider, and what did you think of her remarks to your client?
Step closer to the microphone, Mr. Roth, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I don't want to make a comment on what the judge said. She's the judge. She's well within her prerogative to express her opinions. And the question of the defendant's character is pertinent in her calculation of what an appropriate sentence would be. So I don't want to criticize the fact that she drew her own conclusions. I just disagree with them. I think Ryan is a remarkable person.
Guys, listen, I mean, sometimes you don't have to, listen to how people define themselves. You look at their actions, I think, kind of by default. I think that's pretty much what's a little bit more important sometimes here. Like, this is not like, oh, I was driving a car, let's say, and I accidentally ended someone's existence. This is not that, right? Where it's like, he may be a really good guy, right? Or girl, right? If that makes any sense here. But that right there that happened that day was not premeditated. That was not something that he planned to do for a long time, if that makes any sense here. This was purely 100% an accident. Okay? But this was premeditated. You're still attempting to prescribe, let's say, goodness to this man, right? This is a good guy. This is a good guy. This is why people don't like lawyers, bro. Okay? That's kind of where I'm at right there. This is why some people, in fact, do not like lawyers.
Agree with them. I think Ryan is a remarkable person. I think he did things that most of us would never even think to do.
Okay.
So, for example, for him to go to Ukraine and volunteer to join the front lines and be a soldier to fight against the Russian invasion.
Okay.
How many people would do that?
Okay, and it was all taken away
what does that say
when he did
about
what?
His character. And then after he left, he went back. And I have received and I have filed letters from people Ukrainians who met him in Kiev, who saw how scarce the resources were that he had, how difficult it was for him to live there, and how hard he tried to recruit and bring combat experienced veterans to come and support the Ukraine defense of their country. How many people would go to Taiwan and try and offer NATO-trained Afghan commandos to go in and help defend that country against a potential Chinese invasion? There are letters in the court, and there are stories about all the kind things that Ryan did. The court was focused on the offenses of conviction. So I understand that. I think we have a great federal judiciary in this country. I think the judge may have mistakenly applied the federal crime of terrorism enhancement, and that will be probably the leading issue on appeal. I will be filing a notice of appeal in this case. Thank you.
Right, because he's a good guy. Understand this here, apparently. In the words of this guy, the guy who did this heinous act, right, was a good guy because he was a good guy. He did all of these things here. He went through all this military training. He volunteered all over the world here to be like a frontline type of soldier. He did all of these absolutely honorable things where he learned more more training and more training and then more training. And then he got to this point in life where he just said, you know what, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and throw it all away. All the things that I did before were irrelevant. Understand this here, guys. It's like finding out your favorite person on the planet, all right, does absolutely heinous things to the young ones, guys. All right. So does it matter what they were doing before? Not really. I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm sorry. All of these things that you did in your life are now meaningless, completely irrelevant. I don't care, bro. What does it matter? Like, seriously, jail indefinitely, right? You threw your entire life away because you got radicalized. Got it. All of those things you did, congratulations, all these amazing things in life. And then you were still susceptible to radicalization. That's it. That's where I'm at. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.